7 candidates are hoping to unseat Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell. Among them, Katie Wilson, a longtime progressive organizer and executive director of the Transit Riders Union. I sat down with her to talk about the issues that she's passionate about and why she thinks it's time for new leadership at City Hall. So, Katie, you've never run for office before, but you've spent more than a decade fighting for things like affordable housing, better transit, higher wages. What made you decide that you want to continue that work inside City Hall? I
have lived in this city for over 20 years, my whole adult life. Now my husband and I are raising our daughter here. I love the city, and I think we can do so much better. Over the time that I've lived here, I have watched Seattle become less and less affordable for families like mine, and frankly, less and less livable.
So affordable housing, let's talk about that. That seems to be your #1 issue in your campaign, right, that you're focused on. What is your plan to make it more affordable for people to live here?
We really need to expand our housing stock so that we have more places, especially for young families, right? You know, we have a shortage of 2-bedroom apartments and of homes that are affordable for people who want to buy a home here. So there's a lot more that the city can do to invest in workforce housing so that the folks who work in the city, especially at lower wage jobs, can actually afford to live here.
16,000 people are considered homeless in King County every night. I'm sure that number is much larger than that. What specific strategies would you implement to be able to put more unhoused people into shelter?
Unfortunately, what we've seen with the current administration is that we have more people sleeping unsheltered on Seattle streets than ever before. And we have actually lost shelter capacity every single year that the current mayor has been in office. When you talk to unsheltered homeless people, a vast majority of them would move into a tiny house village in an instant. So we need more tiny houses around Seattle. We need more partnerships with faith communities that have space to operate shelters. And frankly, we have a lot of empty studios in the city, studio apartments, both in affordable housing buildings and in market rate buildings. So I would like to explore a municipal rent voucher program, which would basically buy down some of the rents in those units, especially for homeless folks who actually don't need the extensive services, right, who just need an affordable place to live.
What do you believe is the current state of public safety in Seattle, and do you think people are safer today than they were 4 years ago?
Crime has started falling, which is really good. But what we've seen happen in Seattle and in other cities around the country is that there was a sharp spike in crime during the pandemic, and everywhere it has started falling. But it has actually taken much longer here in Seattle to start falling from that pandemic spike than it has in other cities. What people are experiencing on the ground is that when you need the police to come, it takes a long time. Police response times are unacceptably high. Part of the reason for this is because we have our police doing many, many things that they do not need to be doing. And we've actually seen other cities go much further than Seattle in civilianizing those roles that police don't need to be doing so that our police can focus on policing. We need to make progress on that here.
I've heard that you don't own a car, that you rely primarily on transit and biking. So you really have a first-hand understanding of what it's like to rely on public transportation. What's the most frustrating part of the system, and what are your plans to change and fix that?
Yeah, and you know, I actually used to bike a lot more than I do now that I have a child. So we ride transit a lot. And frankly, it is very frustrating how long it takes to get places by public transit in this city. We really need to work on having a reliable, fast, frequent public transit system. As mayor, that will be one of my top priorities, to make sure that we have a transportation system that no matter what your mode, you can get where you need to go safely, reliably, affordably, and quickly.
And you can see an extended version of our interview tonight on King 5 News at 5. You can also check out Joyce Taylor's interview with Mayor Harrell on King 5. Just text Harrell to 206-448-4545. We'll send you a link directly to your phone. We'll be interviewing candidates in other big races as we get ready for the primary on August 5th.